Welcome to Event Radio, covering local drag racing, stock car racing, motorcycles, go-karts. If it's got wheels and you can race it, you'll hear about it here. Event Radio is motorsports radio on steroids. Now, let's join your hosts, Spivvy Williams and Terrible T Guy.
All right, guys, welcome to a special edition of Event Radio. We are in the nursery at the National Corvette Museum, and this is where all the real cool stuff happens. This is where the moms and dads come to get their new baby, which we're going to introduce you to a couple in just a little bit that have probably, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think it's one of the sharpest Corvettes I've ever seen. It is a new Z06 convertible. It is the proud child, I guess you would say. I'm going to call it a child, of Miss Sherry and Mr. Jesse Allan out of Georgia. And they've agreed to come up and be on Event Radio and let us do a show of what it's like to pick your car up here and have a big time. I get to have a little bit of this opening with my favorite lady in the place. She is absolutely gorgeous. She has been my buddy for years. If you come to the Corvette Museum and you see people looking around, it's not always Corvettes that they're looking at. They're looking at this gal, and they say, she looks familiar. Why do I know her? And you know her if you've watched any television at all, or perhaps if you're into Tom Cruise movies, you will notice Miss Debbie from being in the movie The Firm and several other things that she has done in her illustrious career. She is now the head something at the Corvette Museum. I don't know what it is, and it doesn't matter because she's my horse if she never wins a race. But she is an absolute doll lady. She always helps me out when I come out here, and it is undoubtedly my pleasure to introduce you to Miss Debbie Eaton. How are you, dear?
Oh, I'm just fine. And Spivvy, it's always a fun day when it starts off with you.
Well, we try hard, you know. I mean, you can always laugh at the old fat guy, you know. I mean, you can always do that, and we've been real fortunate. This little thing from the time you were the second show we ever had on Event Radio. You remember that back,
yes.
And I'm still jealous because you took T through the plant without me, or through the museum without me. I'm still jealous about that, by the way.
Hey, I got a special treat for you today.
Ooh, all right, really?
I'm going to put you at the bottom of the sinkhole.
Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Well, I tell you what, I've been that low lately, but that's all right. We'll figure it out. But this is a special show for the simple fact that the lovely lady and her husband that we're going to introduce you to is coming to pick up a brand new, drop-dead gorgeous Z06 Corvette. And, Debbie, you know what they're feeling because you have done this a lot.
I tell you, it's not only the people who own it, which are just ecstatic. It's the people around. Even the people who are visiting the museum get excited about them taking possession of their new baby.
Well, you know, I've watched some of the webcam. And we have seen behind the scenes of some people just really going crazy over these guys' car. And I like this car because this is more Corvette to me. Her car and her husband's car, they've got the real racing stripes on it. I mean, this dude is a hot rod, and it's gorgeous.
Hey, you don't even need to be into cars to think this thing is gorgeous. The colors they selected, the top, the employees were even stopping yesterday and going, ooh, I really like that. So it's really impressive.
Yeah, I'm going to try to talk her into laying out my clothes later. Tell me how to dress.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, they did. Boy, they did such a good job on this car. And really, you don't see too many with the full-blown racing stripe. And buddy, I really like that, Debbie. I think, and I'll probably get in trouble here with the Corvette people, but I think the fender stripes are lame. That's actually not too many people put them on there and say, boy, that's cool, but they have no idea why they're really on there. And they're really on there because they were done with European road racing to tell the drivers that had to run across the track which side the steering wheel was on. Now, that's why they're there. And I think that's sort of stupid. You know what I mean? I mean, if you got them on your car, guys, trust me, you got to be smart enough to know where the steering wheel is, or you couldn't be driving it. So, but the full blown stripes that are on Sherry and Jesse's car are just killer. They're beautiful.
They're beautiful. A gorgeous, gorgeous car.
You guys, since the hole, have put this place on the map. The hole did as much, I believe, Debbie, as the rest of you guys, what you've done it for years, because it opened it up to the world. We were in Daytona, and we turn on the TV, and we get phone starts ringing, and they say, "Hey, look what's going on at home," and it was amazing.
It has been amazing. Even things we think everybody knows what we know. We talk about caves and karst terrain around here. We think everybody knows that. They don't.
No.
It opened up a whole lot of new educational experiences, still tied to the Corvette.
Well, it even increased the visitorship of Mammoth Cave, and Mammoth Cave is one of the 7 wonders of the world.
Yeah, all the caves in the cave area mention that some caves have Corvettes in them.
Yeah,
or at least used to.
Yeah, well, daggone it, I ain't figured out how to get you in one. See, you told me I had to have a red one, and daggone it, I've always bought the wrong color. I guess that's what the trouble is, right?
Maybe that's it.
All right, I don't know. Daggone it, I always lose you out to a husband somewhere, but that happens. We've been buddies for a long time. I can cut up and play with you, and I think that's cool. That's cool. Your favorite thing in the museum, because it changes all the time, and I know you know all about it. You even told me about changing the clothes on the statue. And you might ought to tell people about that. That's funny.
Oh, you like that one?
Yeah, and guys, to give you a little bit to her story, there is a statue in here, Mr. Arca Zora Dundalf, which
Zora
is
Arcus.
I had part of it. I had them all three. I just had them mixed up in words. But he is the father of the Corvette.
The godfather.
There is a statue here. Now, there is a story that went with that statue that nobody knows but Miss Debbie. You got to tell them.
Well, Zora it's called a cast in life. When they're alive, they pour the plaster over them, so it really is what he looked like. And his wife, Miss Elfie, didn't like the fact that the cast in life, although the clothes were cast with him, he didn't have any clothes on the statue. So she would bring a suit to put on him, and she thought he should change clothes. You know, she's into fashion too. So she thought he should change clothes every season. So every season, I'm told, she would bring a new suit one of his suits to the museum for them to put on the statue. Now, the problem with that is those arms and legs don't move. That suit had to be painstakingly taken apart and then sewn back on him.
By hand, no less.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that made everybody happy, though. See, and that was the name of the game. Now, there's one more myth that only you can dispel.
I'm worried, Spivvy. Which one are we talking?
92 Corvette.
83 Corvette.
Or 83 Corvette. I'm sorry.
How many 1983 Corvettes are on the road today, Spivvy?
No, you're not on the road now.
That's the question I ask you. How many are on the road?
Are on the road. I'm going to say one.
No.
How many, Debbie? Tell me.
There are no 1983s on the road today.
Well, there's one in here.
That is the only 1983 in the world.
Yeah, but the on the road is the kicker.
I tricked you, didn't I?
You always do. You have for years.
You got to learn my trivia.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm trying. Okay. Go ahead. Tell me.
So in 1982, when the Corvette the 83 was being developed, they developed so many of them to test the EX models.
Okay.
And they tested them, and some of the emissions and safety and, rules had changed, and it failed miserably. I always ask the school children, and what happens when you fail a grade?
I can tell you all about that. Go ahead.
You don't go any further. Well, it was way too late in the development in that year to get it. I think they said like 1,000 different points fixed. So they decided to do away with the 1983. Now, the guys at the plant were not happy. They're very much into their history. This was the 30th anniversary of the Corvette, and it missed its own anniversary. So they had to have them destroyed, crushed. But for some reason, there were only 42 of those 43 that were crushed. You see, we're told, part of this is legend, part of this is true, but we are told that they hid it behind their...
I know where.
Yeah, the powerhouse. It sits off from the plant.
Yep.
And they didn't work too hard to hide it. They put a tarp over it and let the weeds grow over it, and then they all had amnesia because they couldn't remember where they put it for
Dave
years.
Chrisley told me that he walked people around it several times, and they still couldn't find it.
Now, can you believe... I know there were women working there at the time. How'd they all keep that secret?
Well, I don't know, but I got to ask you something else. Go on and finish, but I got to ask you something about the ladies, but go ahead.
They get a new plant manager. He's surveying the campus, and he finds it. So he decides he better report this to GM. Well, GM said, hey, if it means that much to them, let them keep it. So they restored it to what it looked like originally, brought it over here to be on display. We had a nice display set up, had it on a pedestal, and then it was in the room with the sinkhole. It survived twice.
Well,
and still is on display.
I'd say it was sort of meant to be, right?
That's what I think. This car, they've been offered over $1 million for this car, so that makes it the most valuable car in the museum.
Well, Rick Hendrick could probably give that in a hurry. I would say.
They have been offered that, and they have said no.
Okay. You were talking about history, and I got to say a little something. I had the pleasure on a computer of meeting a lady, and she's been a little sick here, and we want to give her some well wishes. But Miss Suzette Diorio is her name, and she sort of is spiking a cause called Save the Wave of Corvette. Well, when I grew up, that was a natural deal. You met somebody in a Corvette, you waved to them, you know, and that was just something that you did. And that's losing steam. And guys, if you're a late model Corvette owner, just because you buy a guitar, it doesn't make you Eric Clapton. You've got to have some history to go with it. And the Wave is a history thing that needs to be preserved and done because it's part of the special deal of the ownership of a Corvette.
Right, and I get real upset when the car is leaving for the first time, and we will do this today. We're all excited. We're waving and hooping and hollering, and I'm giving them the big wave, and I get a little Queen Elizabeth wave back.
Yeah.
That's
bummer.
not a Corvette wave.
No, it's not. You got to let them know what's happening.
Out the window, flag them down. That's a Corvette wave.
That's right. And you need to, if you see one, and I see it here living in this city. I see guys coming in that are Corvette customers and enthusiasts, okay? And they don't do that, and I think that's bad. I think that's a bad thing. So, guys, there is a website called Save the Wave if you're a Corvette guy or gal, and I'm amazed after meeting Miss Sherry how many female Corvette owners there are. I'm freaked out by it. This didn't happen when I was a kid, or I'd have chased them all. But you know, when I've met two or three that are really sweet ladies. They're probably all married, my luck, like you. I mean, I chase you first, but I don't have any luck there. But that's okay. But another lady, LaDonna Gilstrap, I think is her name, that I got to meet on a computer. She's from somewhere, originally Gadsden, Alabama. But nice people, and they're just diehard Corvette people.
Let me tell you about a lady who picked it up this last week, I believe it was.
Okay.
I get a card from a lady who wants to buy a Corvette, a friend of one of my relatives. So I call her. Well, we started a relationship on the phone. If I was going to buy a Corvette, what I would do, this is what I told her, is I would do the delivery program.
Yeah, and you'd pass on all of them unless it was red.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's all right.
And then, so I explained to her what the program was. She got so excited. She called me several months later, just all excited. She'd purchased her Corvette, and she was coming in on, I think it was the 9th. And she said, I want to meet you. I said, okay. Oh, I'm not going to be here. She rescheduled when to come so we could meet. This woman, you were talking about diehard fans.
Oh, yeah.
This woman was talking about her shoes. I said, what are you talking about? She went out to her car and brought the shoes in that she bought to match the car.
Oh, God.
Now, ladies will know what this, ladies will understand
Ladies
this.
do that.
They were she had a black car. They were black patent leather heels. Okay, ladies, they had a red sole on them to match her interior. She'd bought Jimmy Choo shoes to match her Corvette.
Oh, give me a break. Gosh.
Black with red interior. Oh, they
I
were
tell you what,
gorgeous.
there's no hope for me yet. I can see that right now.
No.
None
And
at all.
I believe Miss Sherry is matching her car today, too.
Yeah, I believe she has her fingernails painted the same color as the car.
And I believe somebody else has on a shirt.
Yeah.
That's not uncommon. That's gone on for years that men have worn the color of the car.
Really?
Our delivery guys used to do that some, too. If they were
No kidding.
delivering a red car, they'd have a red shirt on. Now we wear uniforms, so they wear a red shirt every day.
Yeah.
But you watch Corvette owners, especially if they're showing their car, they will have on the color.
Well, it's really turned into something that Of course, they were not near as common when I was a kid growing up with them, and it's turned into something really cool, and it's all because of you guys, really. You have opened the eyes of the world on just how cool the Corvette really is, and the things you do here. I mean, you do educational things. There's a display, I think, going on, the hot rods of the world or something are in here, from 32 Fords on down.
American Muscle, hot rods and street rods.
But you do everything here that makes Corvette ownership cool.
Well, and
the burgers are even good in the restaurant.
Yeah. You don't have to have a Corvette to enjoy the Corvette, and that's what the museum is about. And we're not a warehouse full of pretty cars. We are an educational venue. We can.
You teach kids about driving. You teach them about impaired driving. You do all kinds of really great, beneficial programs. Not just owning a hot rod, owning a car. Of course, I've been ridiculed for calling them hot rods, and I'm sorry. It's a finely engineered driver's car. And that guy was a stroke anyway. But anyway, it's a hot rod because I've had enough of them. But how about the new motorsports park? Taking off and doing what you want?
Oh, yes. And this week we had, like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, we invited the community to come in, walk, run, bike, roller skate on the track, and apparently there were like way over 200 people that showed up that just wanted to walk it. Now, I will tell you, I wasn't there that night, but the next morning, several people came in and were a little sore.
Well, I'll tell you
it was a good workout.
I'm going to tell you right now, if you see me jogging over there, you stop and get me because the police are after me. Don't you dare let me do that.
Invasion of the body snatchers.
Yeah, don't ever let me do that, Miss Debbie, you are a champion. You are a beautiful lady, and it is just an honor and a pleasure for me to get to spend a few minutes with you. Every time I come, I love it. I absolutely love it. And trust me, guys, what this lady does not know about Corvette and this museum, you don't need to know. It's just you really don't need to know. But she is my buddy. And thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of your day to be on Event Radio again.
You started my day off well, and I enjoyed meeting the couple that are going to take the car today. We're going to have a big time with them.
We're going to have some fun, and we're going to make sure they have an experience, even on Event Radio, because I didn't tell you that our listening audience had gone up just a little, but it has, just a little. Average show now is about 220,000, so it's broadcast all over the world.
Now I'm nervous.
So, yeah, now they all know that they got to have a red Corvette to even get Miss Debbie's attention. And besides, she's a happily married lady, so don't even try it. Guys, the one and only Miss Debbie Eaton. Thank you, darling.
Thank you, Spivvy.
Guys, we're going to take a quick break. We got to pay for this somehow. I don't exactly know how we're going to do it, but I think the guys at Quick Fuel and Gearhead Gazette and Holly and some more will help us. But you're on Event Radio. We are at the Corvette Museum, and we're counting down to the delivery of the absolute coolest Corvette I have seen here in years. You're on Event Radio. We'll be right back.
Quick Fuel Technology, the innovators in fuel systems, introduces the latest in high-temperature coating technology for select street and performance carburetors. QFT's new Black Diamond series features a unique satin black Teflon coating that provides award-winning good looks and lasting durability. The Black Diamond series is impact-resistant, repels all underhood chemicals, and reduces fuel temperature by 6% for improved performance. The Black Diamond series by Quick Fuel, the ultimate in form and function.
All right, guys, we are back from the National Corvette Museum and the delivery process of what's really cool about getting a Corvette. I get to introduce you to a gentleman that probably his worst claim to fame is being one of my neighbors, but he is a great guy. He is doing the delivery on Sherry and Jesse Allen's Corvette, and there is nobody better than this guy to do it. Mr. Larry McCool, how are you, sir?
I'm doing fine.
You having fun?
This is really fun.
Well, you got to share in the excitement a little bit of the people that are getting the car.
Absolutely. This is a fun job to have, and it's meeting the people and the excitement that the people have to see their brand new Corvette. It's very exciting.
And you got to be pretty sharp on them, my friend, to tell them how everything works with all the options, with everything. What all do you do? Do you explain all that or what?
Well, we spend about an hour and a half going over the car with the new owner, and hopefully when they leave the museum, they've got a pretty good command of what the car can do and how to handle it.
So they can take it outside or over to Motorsports Park and spin a tire if they want to, right?
Well, not exactly.
Okay, all right. That'd be what I'd want to do, but I'll try. I'll keep that for the neighborhood. I don't want to disrupt the whole place out here. How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this. It'll be 11 years this year, and
you ever add up how many you've delivered?
Probably in the 900 range.
That's a bunch, buddy.
That's a bunch.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
It is.
Bunch of happy folks.
A lot of happy folks.
Any particular thing that you find is one question they ask more than the other?
Well, I don't know that there's just one question. It's just a lot of excitement. And on this car, this C7 Stingray, there's a lot of electronics. And there's just simply a lot to go over with the new owner.
How much do you have to study for all the upgrades when it's a model change? Does that drive you nuts, learning everything new, or is it fun for you?
Well, it's fun, but we have to get the owner's manual, read the owner's manual, and we have classes here at the museum to train ourselves. And then we just get some hand-on experience. In other words, we sit in a car and push the buttons and play with the buttons. And
I used to a long time ago. I sold some cars for a while, and I was delivering a lady. I don't remember, some kind of a Escort or a Tempo or something. And our job was to, when you delivered it, to explain everything. Well, I get her in there and sitting in the seat, and I get to sit on the other seat, and I start to do this, and she put her hand over my mouth, and she said, "Hush." And I thought I maybe offended her, And I said, "Ma'am, I'm sorry." She said, "No." She said, "I don't want to hear all that." She said, "Half the fun of having one of these things is figuring out how all this works." So I thought, well, that's pretty cool.
Well, that would be cool. Yes, it would.
Well, listen, my friend, I know you're going to be busy. I got to have the Allans on here, and we're going to, instead of telling the world how it was, we want the anticipation factor of what to look forward to, because we want them to come buy their own Corvette and come and experience this with you like they're getting ready to. And so we're not going to do that part on the show of the after. We're going to do all of the before and build the heat, if you will, to what you're doing in your job to get them done. But thank you for taking a couple of minutes to be on Event Radio. You are in high demand, my friend. And Thomas McFall told me that you were the guy delivering this. I said, boy, they got the gem right there, man. That's luck of the draw. And when you got the best, you'll do a good job with them, and they'll be extremely happy.
Well, thank you for the compliment.
Well, that's just the way it is. Now, maybe you can teach me how to start my car. Guys, the one and only Mr. Larry McCool, if you get a chance to have him on your delivery of your new Corvette, I'm sure you can request him. And trust me, that would be the coolest thing you could think of, because this gentleman is an ace. He knows these cars inside out, and he's just flat a good guy. You're on Event Radio, guys. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
On the track or on the street, the number one brand in performance is Holley. Have you heard about the Ultra Street Avengers, Ultra Double Pumpers, Ultra HP, and Ultra Dominator carburetors? They're ultra light, ultra cool, and ultra fast. Holley carbs are the most powerful carbs money can buy with no further modifications. Holley, winning performance for over 100 years.
All right, guys, we are back from the National Corvette Museum, and we are with the proud parents, I guess you would say. Or I tell you what, this is quite an experience. This is probably the first one I've watched all the way through. But there are more people coming to witness this delivery than when I had my daughter at the hospital. I've never seen as much. But it is my pleasure to get to introduce to you Mr. Jesse and Miss Sherry Allan. They are the proud owners of what I believe probably one of the sharpest Corvettes I've ever seen. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Having fun?
Yes, having a great time.
Oh, okay. Well, now who's more excited, Jesse or you or Miss Sherry? Which one?
I'd say it's probably her.
Do you think so?
No, I think not. I'm sweating.
Okay.
I'm sweating now.
So you're it's just fun, guys.
Just
That's
fun.
what this is all about. It's
Yes.
fun. What made you decide? I mean, you could have stayed. Where in Georgia are you from?
North Georgia, around Lake Lanier.
Oh, okay. That's pretty. Wow. Yeah, I used to date a girl in Gainesville. That's not very far.
No.
A lot of women. I can't help it. But anyway, what made you decide to do the delivery program versus going to your local Chevy store and having it delivered?
Well, my decision was I'd come to the bash last year, and just being here with everyone, and I've never heard anything negative that everybody said do Corvette delivery at the museum, because it's a fabulous experience. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah, well, of course, you all got the best of the best here now. I mean, Larry McCool is about as good. He's delivered 900 Corvettes.
Wow.
So you got the bad guy on the block taking care of you. And I promise you, when you roll out of here with that beautiful car, you will know everything you need to know, because he's the man.
The problem is remembering
Now, the big
it.
question, who's going to drive it home?
Me.
Oh, boy, that was quick, Jesse. You just lost out, buddy. Now, what are you going to do with the other one? You got another one?
Yeah, my daughter's going to drive it back to the house.
Oh, and you're going to just keep it, too?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
She was my first, and I'm not getting rid of her.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I told you a long time ago, I think that one was pretty, too.
Yeah.
I really like that. I got, guys, I don't know a lot of the ladies on the Corvette websites, but I do a lot of Corvette stuff for the museum on Event Radio. And so I go on there trying to meet some folks and to be able to talk to them. That's how I met Miss Sherry, was on, I think it was Facebook. What it was. And found out she was into Corvettes, and I met some more. One gal that I've had more fun with because she's close to me, Miss Elizabeth Reese. She comes to a lot of things, and she's my part-time girlfriend. She's my part-time Corvette girlfriend.
She's a sweet
but
girl.
she's a fun gal.
Yes,
I have
she
more fun
is.
with her. But I'm getting to meet everybody now.
Yes.
And this is really cool. And I'm amazed so many of you girls are into it. What got you into being into the Corvette so much?
Well, when I was old enough to see one, I knew I wanted one. And
Okay.
I love cars.
You didn't see him out cruising one and decide you want both of them at the same time, or
No,
what?
but he had a very cool van.
Oh, wow, van. Whoa. Now, see, there you go. Now, I probably shouldn't go here. But
No.
the only bad thing about growing up with a Corvette when you're a kid is taking your girlfriend to the drive-in. That's sort of a waste. But now you had that covered, didn't you, Jesse?
I did.
Yes,
you had
he
the
did.
van, buddy. That's like having a house with 3 bedrooms and a bath. I mean, go to the drive-in in a van. That's cool.
Yeah.
So the van,
It did-
he
it
won
did-
you over
it
with the
did-
van, huh?
It did see a few drive-throughs, yes.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All
And
right.
we started dating in the 70s.
Oh, well,
So,
that was a good time.
Yes.
That was fun. You know, matter of fact, I used to spend a lot of time down at my grandmother's, which is down in Marion, Kentucky, down in western Kentucky. And that little town was so cool. The drive-in movie in the winter, they didn't even show a movie. They opened the concession stand, and they let you pay to go. I guess it was a place to pay and safely park with your best girl or whatever, you know. But
that's
I thought that
funny.
was pretty cool,
Yes.
a deal. What, you go to a lot of the events or attend a lot of the events, right? No?
No.
You don't?
The only event I've ever attended was last year's bash here at
Really?
the museum, yes.
Is that going to change now with the new car?
I'll probably do some car shows,
Okay.
local events,
Okay.
you know.
So now you are going to get it out and drive it, I hope.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
if he'll let me.
I mean, if he'll let you.
I
You
think-
just said it was your car.
I think he's going to lock it up when I get home.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, pretty girl, beautiful Corvette. That might be a wise move, my friend. You think you might ought to do that or what?
Well,
See, the bad part,
We'll
let me
let
take-
her try it for a little bit.
Well, see, the
how it
bad
goes.
part is she's got a reserve in the garage. She's got a second one, so you can't lock them all up. So you might as well just trust her and go on, right?
Yes,
That's right.
Absolutely.
So you like Bowling Green?
I do. I love Bowling Green. I love it here in Kentucky.
And you slept on a rock pillar is us motel, I guess. It wasn't real
it
cool,
was,
but
it was not.
well, that's all right though. But listen. I guarantee you, the night before Christmas, you probably didn't sleep either,
That's right.
and that's what
I
this.
didn't
That's
go to
what
bed-
this was.
We didn't go to bed till about 2:00 this morning.
Did you? How many? Did you watch a webcam all night to see
I
if
did.
anybody was here?
Well, I
He's
watched
been on it
on
all week.
Yes, and so have you. So we've all been on the webcam.
Well, that's good, and you've got quite a few people here
Yes.
to help you share this experience.
Yes.
Are you going to? Sometimes they actually let you drive them around the motorsports park. Are you going to do that?
Not right now.
Okay.
I took the other one around the motor sports park, and that's a little above me right now.
Well, of
I
course
gotta get to know that car first.
Yeah, well, you got a hot rod now to
Yeah.
do it with.
So.
It's. I tell you what, I'm not kidding. And Larry and I were talking while you guys were busy. He said it is unbelievable the amount of people that have really fallen in love with your car. And he said, I think a lot of it is a choice of the top color.
Yes.
Because he said, I see them all. And he said, you find very few with the gray top. He said, most of these cars have a black top.
Right.
And they just don't reach out at you like what yours does.
Right.
And Man, it's gorgeous.
Well, last year when we attended the bash, we came just for this, the fun and to meet people and to check out the colors.
Uh-huh.
And he seen one the same color in the back, and I was all for Laguna Blue.
Uh-huh.
And then when I spotted that color, I knew that was it.
Listen, it's classy, gal.
Yeah.
It is.
And I had to have that chrome. It's chromed out.
Hey, listen, and that's a pet peeve of mine. Now,
Yeah.
guys, trust me. And if you don't believe that this old fat boy knows what he's talking about, you get on the webcam just for the rest of today until she takes delivery of her car. There are 2 cars sitting, one next to it and one behind it, that are solid color cars. One is a black, one is a red, or white, I mean. They both have black wheels.
Yes.
I hate black wheels on it.
That's
You know, hey, listen, when we grew up, buddy, they sold you hubcaps to cover those things up. Now they're buying them on there. But even Larry says, well, no, it's not my favorite. And the joke from the plant employees of the all blacked out cars, or it's the Batman edition.
Yes.
That's what they call it.
Yes.
But you watch the webcam and you watch the people that are looking at Miss Sherry's car and looking at these other 2. It's 10-1.
Yes.
Your car with the chrome wheels and the. I mean, that's a hot rod now, gal. That's pretty.
I have about 500 pictures of people looking at it that I screenshotted.
And they're walking by the other 2.
Yes.
It's common. It's not. What's your opinion there, my friend, on black wheels? I like you already.
Well, I'm old school. I don't care for the black, but that's the new generation.
I guess
that's
it
why
is.
they make. Everybody has choices. So
I guess you're right.
it wouldn't be my choice, but
No,
I'm proud for them.
I spent a tub full buying hubcaps when I was a kid to cover them up, so I don't believe.
Our son has them on his beautiful, he has a yellow Trans Am Collector's Edition, and they look gorgeous on that car.
Yeah, if you keep them clean.
Yes,
but if
he
you
does.
let them get dirty, they're funky.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, it's just nothing. It's sort of like a black car.
Right.
It looks good from 5 to 5, and the rest of the time you really got to work at it, to make it look good. But I don't know. It's just not my favorite, and I'm like Jesse. I'm old school. Of course,
Right.
I am old. I keep forgetting that part.
Yes, we are.
But we had fun. First ride in the Corvette, what'd you think?
When I first got in my
Yeah.
car, I thought this is the best thing ever, and it was my dream. And,
Okay.
And the thing is that I bought her, and my husband told me, he says, if you still love that car and when this truck's paid for, his new truck, I'll buy you a brand new one. And so I paid his truck off in half the time.
Boy, he's smart. Now, he's a smart guy.
And I think he thought that he would just get a Stingray, but we kind of pushed it a little.
Hey, if you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly. It doesn't cost any more.
There's nothing better than sitting in a Corvette driving.
Well, and you, like we talked earlier with Debbie on the Wave, you guys are enough Corvette veterans that you realize how important that is.
It is.
And traditions have brought Corvette to where it is. This is not a flash of the pan success. Corvette has been a success for lots of years.
Yes.
And the things that went with it, the museum delivery, the museum, the Rotorsports Park, the plant tours,
Right.
everything. When you buy a Purist, you don't get all that.
Right. Well,
You know what I mean?
one thing I enjoyed about it being here at the museum is that all week I've led up to the excitement of being here and all
Right.
my friends because we got to watch it. And I wouldn't have had that if I would have went to a dealership and just picked it up.
Right.
So
They just said, thank you, give me your money, and hit the door.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And the people here are just wonderful. I don't care if it's from the admissions desk to the guy that's cleaning the bathrooms.
That's right.
Everybody at the Corvette Museum are first-class people. They are nice people. You got to meet Miss Debbie. She is
Yes.
a doll baby.
She is.
And knows her stuff about everything that's going on. And this is such a cool deal. Thank you for letting Event Radio be a little bitty part of this fabulous day for you.
Well, I think it was a huge part, and I really appreciate you having us on.
Well, we wanted to because we know how special the delivery process is, and we know you talk to a lot of people, so maybe you can tell them that we're just not total idiots. We're just a part-time idiot.
That's right.
But we really appreciate you taking the time and giving us this little bit of your special day
Well,
that
we
it
enjoyed
is.
it.
And Guys, this is absolutely cool. We'll be back in just a flash to finish this thing out, but you're on Event Radio live at the, I guess we will say, the birth of Mr. Jesse and Miss Sherry's new baby.
That's right.
The absolute coolest Corvette that's come out of this place in a long time.
Thank
guys,
you so much.
You're very welcome, guys. Have a safe trip, and don't be drag racing on the way home.
Oh, no.
You know?
No,
I would
way.
be. The Z06 got to be faster.
Yeah, but you got to behave on that first 500 miles.
Why?
You got to have the oil change. You got to keep it.
Well, come on now. You got to have a little fun too.
Can't void that warranty, honey.
Jesse, are we gonna get after it a little bit?
Well, we'll see what it's got.
Okay, all right.
That's right.
Guys, two of the coolest people in the Corvette hobby. You'll
right.
get to meet them somewhere down the road. Just look for the absolute most gorgeous Corvette you've ever laid your eyes on. It's silver with a gray top. Got the real racing stripes. And by the way, it does have chrome wheels.
That's right.
Guys, Mr. Jesse and Miss Sherry Allen, thank you so much for being on Event Radio. Guys, we're going to be right back to close this thing out. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a flash. Well, guys, what about it? That sort of brings our big Event Radio Corvette delivery show to an end. This has been a really cool experience. We're not going to tell you a lot about what went on because we want you to come and do it for yourself and come watch it for yourself. They deliver cars every day here at the museum, and just get off at the Corvette Museum exit and come on in. There's no charge to watch all this or anything. Just come on in and check them out. The people here are wonderful. They are great people. They are nice to everybody that darkens these doors, and trust me, you can't beat a day at the Corvette Museum. As always, we never end our shows without thanking our sponsors, who are absolutely the most important people in our world next to you, the listeners. The great guys at Quick Fuel Technologies, the absolute best carburetor on the planet. They've been doing fuel injections, and buddy, trust me, you think they're bad news on carburetors, you check out their fuel injections. You're going to be really, really impressed. The great guys at Holley Performance, what can you say about Holley? Everything they make is cool. There's no doubt about it. They have a list of products a mile long that for you to choose from. And you can go to the new Corvette Motorsports Park and see the Holley Tower, everything. They get behind everything that is local in Bowling Green, and they are just wonderful people with wonderful stuff. They just bought out MSD Ignitions, and the list of the companies just keeps on growing. And this is a really, really cool company. So give them a call at Holley.com or whatever and talk to any of their knowledgeable salespeople, and they will fix whatever ill you may have. If you can't find a part for your hot rod at Holley, you don't have a hot rod, my friend. Last but not least, my buddy and the world's best car guy website, GearheadGazette.com. Go on there and find out who, what, when, and where of every car event that's going on anywhere that's important. Some of them, they cover even maybe not be important, but they're important to somebody. So you can find them all at GearheadGazette.com. Mr. Jimmy B and the guys, if you go to the events and you see a sort of primer 32 Ford that's just drop-dead gorgeous, look at the guy, the dark-headed guy in there driving. He's just cool as he can be, and that is Jimmy B himself. Stop and talk to him. He is a great guy. But go on the computer at GearheadGazette.com, find you an event, and go out and have fun with the car hobby. That's what's done at the Corvette Museum. That's what's done at all the Beach Bend events. That's what's done everywhere that there's wheels involved, be it motorcycles, cars, whatever. Get out and enjoy it and have fun. As we always say, guys, if you enjoy what you hear on Event Radio, please tell a person or two. And if you don't, you keep that to yourself. We appreciate you listening, and we will talk again.
You've been listening to Event Radio, covering local drag racing, stock car racing, motorcycles, go-karts. If it's got wheels and you can race it, you heard about it here. Event Radio is motorsports radio on steroids. Join us next time with your hosts, Spivey Williams and Terrible T Guy.